I'm Robert with Knowmium, based in Hong Kong, and this video explores tips to help you hire an external facilitator. First, what is a facilitator? Well, a facilitator is somebody that runs workshops. Sometimes we call them a trainer, sometimes we call them a consultant. I'll use the word facilitator today. If you have somebody come into your company or in your team and they run activities and they work with a group, that is a facilitator. Today, I'm going to compare 7 key tips for hiring a facilitator with the same tips we would use when we are organizing a restaurant or dinner party. If you've never organized a restaurant or a dinner party, this video will help you do that as well. Let's start with number 1. When you need a restaurant, start doing your research. You can get online, you can look at pictures, you can look at the online menu and prices, you can look at reviews, but ultimately, you'll probably start asking your friends and colleagues where would be a good place for our dinner party. Similarly, when you're looking for a facilitator, get online, look at their website, look at their LinkedIn, but sometimes the best review is word of mouth. Ask your colleagues, ask your larger professional network, who have you worked with before? What was great about them? Or possibly who should we avoid? Many facilitators are great in one area, but maybe not in another. Some people might focus on public speaking, and other people might focus on sales. Some do both, but not everybody. So good facilitators will be able to tailor the content to fit your team if it's something they have experience with. Number 2. Visit the restaurant. Go and look at the layout. Look at the private dining rooms or the public areas. Look at the menu and look at the food in person, because what's online may or may not match what you actually see on the table. When you're hiring a facilitator, set up a meeting with them, whether it's in person or whether it's virtual, and talk to them about their experiences. Talk to them about the programs that you saw online. Talk to them about your team, because if they have a program in the box, good facilitators will be able to tailor that program to your team's specific content and their specific needs. Great facilitators will even tell you, I may not be the right person for this, but I can refer you to someone who is. Number 3, when you have a facilitator, or a chef in this case, in mind, place your order. Let them know which dishes you want, how many people, which drinks you want, and if there's any special request or dietary restrictions. Similarly, when you have found the right facilitator, give them all the details they'll need. The time, the date, the location, or if it's online. Let them know the number of participants. Let them know the team's challenges, the team's needs, the team's goals, the successes the team has had, and maybe even some of the failures that we're trying to get past. You may not have at the initial meeting all the information that the facilitator needs, and that's okay. Go talk with your team members, talk with the participants, and find out what would they like to get out of the workshop, what would they like to learn, what skills would they like to build, and then get back with the facilitator, give them that information so they can start planning a customized program. Also, if you don't know some of the participants, or you don't know their questions or challenges or their needs, set up a survey or let the facilitator set up a survey specific to the program content you've hired them to orchestrate. Number 4, when you trust the chef, when the menu has been sent, the order's been sent, let the chef cook. It's their kitchen, so let them work their magic. Some chefs have windows where you can see what they're doing, but they probably don't want you to be looking over their shoulder the whole time. They don't want you seeing all of their prep. They don't want you in the kitchen, and they especially don't want you touching their chef's knives. If you've ever watched a cooking show, chefs are particular about their process, where things are, and which utensils and knives are used for which activity. So let them work their magic. And similarly, When you trust the facilitator, trust the facilitator. In the planning stages, it's great to have weekly catch-ups with a facilitator if the facilitator and the company hiring them have that agreement. Let's meet up and let's go over some of the slides. Let's go over some of the activities. The facilitator wants you to be happy. They want you to be confident knowing that you're going to get what you ordered, and they do want your feedback. Some activities work well for certain groups, but the team leader and the management will know the participants much better than the facilitator, and that feedback is valuable. And definitely in the program, let the facilitator run the show. Don't try to micromanage them. Don't try to be the expert with them. The person who hired the facilitator is probably an expert in a lot of things, but when it's the facilitator's show, let them run the show. If there's feedback, if there's something that isn't working well, wait until a break and have that conversation so the facilitator can make the necessary adjustments. Number 5, if it's your kitchen and you're having a home party, maybe you've invited a chef to come into your kitchen. Be sure to let them know about your kitchen. Where are the utensils? Is the oven proper and is it running according to the temperature, or is the temperature running a little bit higher? The chef's going to need to know this to perform their job and to make the best food possible. Similarly, when you have a facilitator using an internal company platform, when they're running a virtual program, let them know anything that's possible or anything that's not possible. Some companies have firewalls that don't allow certain websites. Some companies don't allow participants to be on video. Even though you might be used to this, if the facilitator doesn't know it, some of the activities that require video all of a sudden aren't possible. If the facilitator knows in advance, everything will run smoothly and there will be more success. It's finally a good idea to run a test run and let the facilitator get onto the internal platform early to test out all the tech and the tools that they'll be using. Number 6, if you have placed an order with a chef and something changes, it may or may not be easy for the chef to fix it. If they've already started baking a pizza, they're not going to be able to change that pizza. They're going to have to toss it out and start over. Some chefs might charge you for that. Some chefs won't, but know that it's hurting their resources and their income if they're throwing out perfectly good ingredients. At the same time, some changes are easy to make. If there are certain sauces or dressings that go on salad, those don't happen until the end. So if you notify the chef as soon as possible about changes, they will be much happier and they'll let you know if it's possible. At the same time, if there are changes in the training program, let the facilitator know as soon as possible. Some changes are easy to make, but some changes might take hours to redesign the material, redesign the slides, redesign the handouts. Some facilitators allow these changes because they want you, the client, to be happy. Other facilitators have it built into their contract that changes past a certain deadline will have other charges. It could be hourly or it could be a set fee. And facilitators don't want to do that. They don't want you to have to pay more money, but if they're working hard and last minute changes create more work for them, the standard might be to charge. So update quickly. And finally, number 7, if you've had a great experience at a restaurant, leave a review. If you've had a less than perfect experience at a restaurant, talk with the chef or talk with the owner to see if it can be made right before making negative feedback public. Similarly, when you work with a facilitator after a training program, talk to them. What did you love? What would you change? Or if there's something that just simply didn't work, let them know. They may be able to correct it. They may be able to come back or get on another virtual session and fix it and run it differently for your team. Positive feedback on their website or on LinkedIn is amazing. Be sure to give them that visibility with positive feedback. And if it's something that they can't fix or they didn't deliver as promised, negative feedback helps other people know what they're getting into before they work with that facilitator. Finally, there may be a survey or an evaluation that the company gives their employees. Share that with the facilitator if appropriate, or even better, let the facilitator give a feedback survey specific to their program, and if needed, create that together. The client and the facilitator might have questions that help both parties. I hope this has been helpful. Remember, a successful dinner party means happy customers, and happy customers means a happy chef. Happy participants means a happy client, and ultimately that means a happy facilitator, especially if it leads to more programs or spreading the word about what an enjoyable and skill-building experience you've had. We'd love to hear from you if you'd love to contact us. And again, these tips are in the video description. Have a great day.